Hey Taurus, TT here with a channel message for all of my Taurians. If you guys are new, welcome to the channel. If you're returning, welcome back. We're going to jump right into this channel message. Happy Friday, everyone. Before we get into the message, let's talk about who this message is for. All right, so this can be your energy, Taurus, or this could be someone connected to you. So you'll really have to use your own discernment because it was really hard for me to tap in exactly if this is your energy, Taurus, or someone else's. What I was sensing automatically was this being like your shadow, okay? That's the best way that I could describe it. Like the parts of yourself that you don't necessarily like or resonate with anymore may be in a physical form, may have a physical form of another person. So it just so happens that let's say you're into, I don't know, science, or you're into just the occult and wonders, right? And magic and things like that. But your shadow may, and you may be the light version of that, right? But your shadow may be the dark version of that, right? Where you may also be on that borderline or that cusp of the mad scientist. You know what I'm saying? Um, because it can get like that. So if you've ever been drawn to, like, how could I describe it to you? So let's say you have a thing about investigating and philosophy and stuff like that, right? But you also like to watch Criminal Minds, right? Or you also like to watch supernatural sci-fi. All of those different things are variants of yourself. You may not go as extreme as to be you know, a murder detective or something like that, but it's on the spectrum. Okay, you may prefer to investigate more of the stars and the galaxy and the solar system, and then the complete, opposite or 180 of that would be, investigating death and murders and darkness, right? They're on the same investigative, curious mind, but at the same time, we all have that evil twin of ourselves, right? And we may not like that version of ourselves, but it is very much real. So this is kind of the energy that I was tapped into, and it was hard for me to kind of see, okay, is it Taurus energy? Is this Taurus shadow? Is this someone else? And the way spirit revealed it to me was in that anomaly. So you have to be the person to determine, well, okay, yeah, I may not be, you know, a serial killer, but I like to watch cold cases. You get what I'm saying? There's a spectrum, and there's a spectrum of it that everyone has. All right. This particular message, however, is going to it's going to be for those of you that resonate with like interdimensional traveling, reincarnation, supernatural, the supernatural realm in general, time travel, quantum physics, quantum healing. Um, yeah, this may be more of a message for my Taurians that are a part of something more galactic or something more um, space or universal, interdimensional type of things. So the message that I got specifically was a particular situation is kind of in review right now. hmm So if you resonate with a situation, I don't know what this situation is exactly. We're going to get deeper into the situation that happened, whether it was happening to you. There's some type of balance that has to be restored on a cosmic or galactic level. All right. So, soul pods. So there's a particular soul pod. What they're telling me is that you come from a particular soul pod that always travels together in every dimension. No matter where you guys incarnate to, or where you guys travel to, it's like a group of, let's say, 12 people in a pod. In other dimensions, you may be of different complexions, different body types, different colors, whatever. But your soul print is simultaneously being experienced at the same time. So in this pod of 12 or more, right? The closer you are to that person next to you, or that, think of it like pod mates, okay? So like 2 by 2 by 2 by 2. So if you had a pea, and you opened it up and you see how like the peas are kind of like spaced together in that pod. Think of that like a pod, okay? Man, I'm really struggling to even explain to you what I'm seeing, but stay with me, okay? So in this pod, you guys always travel together. So how you guys, when you come in and you travel in, some remember and some don't, from that pod. So then you may experience situations of deja vu. You feel like you know each other. Have I seen you before? Those types of resonance would be closely related to your soul pod. Okay. So right here, right now, in this current space time continuum. Okay, I hope I'm saying this right. Someone has initiated some type of, it's like a manipulation. The best way I could describe this manipulation, I think they call it gaslighting. But it wasn't utilized for the betterment of the soul pod. It was utilized as a way to take away another person's free will, take away another person's confidence, their self-esteem. So someone here hijacked their soul pod and has been seeking all characters of that soul pod, to pretty much manifest or create their own reality, their own mission, their own community. And this may come up in the form of collaborations or come up in the form of meetings, spontaneous meetings. It's not quite as spontaneous as you may think. It's actually more intentional. So like I said, some may remember and some may not remember. That the memories may not come as quickly. I feel like as the events play out, the memories are triggered and you start to remember more and more and more. You have more dreams, you have more premonitions, you have more recalls of how you may know that person. And it comes up like deja vu. Now, in this particular situation that is being reviewed from, let's call them the council, right? There was, I don't know what the situation was exactly, but there's like some major reality check, epiphany. And it's like whoever has been lying here. Yeah, whoever has been lying or kind of hijacking the whole pod to kind of manifest what they want. And having everyone else like abort their own mission. So even though they come from the same pod, they all have their own particular mission. So now the scales have to be rebalanced. Okay. That's what I'm seeing here. Someone's mask is has fell off. And it has a lot to do with someone discovering their worth. It has a lot to do with someone knowing what they deserve and what they don't deserve. And so I don't know if this was something that was conditioned, if this was something that was conditioned or taught, or if someone's past life memories have been recalled and they're just operating on a previous lifetime where they behaved in a particular manner. Okay, but it is related, closely related to gaslighting. Okay, getting a person to perceive things and behave in a certain type of way based off of criticizing them or chastising them in a passive aggressive way or an indirect way is pretty much how you get someone to act in agreement or act in accordance to whatever you want them to do, which takes away their free will, and they'll be operating on under your illusion or your intentions or your spell, whatever you cast it, that's what they'll be operating. So this is how people get people hooked on phonics, hooked on them or certain things like that. But I feel like what's happened here, they're from the same soul pod. Yeah, something about it's the same. What about this soul pod? It's not gonna work because they come from the same soul pod. So we have manipulation in reverse. Spirit, what do you keep referring to? What about the soul pod is significant? Domination in reverse. Okay, so this particular soul pod has a soul mission. All right, and this soul mission is to revolt, rebel, set people free. Okay, activate free will, not place another, not free them from one will, just to have them operating on your own agenda or your own will. So that's what I'm seeing here. It's this dependency or this codependency pattern. So this soul pod, I gotta break this down. This soul pod has a mission, okay, to separate from the codependency patterns that are currently affecting humanity, okay? This has already been discussed. This has already been pre-planned from this particular soul pod, these travelers that have come here to facilitate that transition. However, based off of a strategic move that someone initiated, this was a chess move that was played, okay? Everyone in this soul pod is naturally Aquarian energy, Aquarian like. So they're independent. They're going to aspire to have more and more independence because anything codependent is remnant of a Piscean age, okay? So, however, someone in this pod here has utilized the same Piscean tactic of manipulation. So someone broke free from a codependent relationship, a codependent lifestyle, a codependent belief system, limited belief systems, just for them to come across their own soul tribe, their own soul pod. That too broke from certain limited belief systems. And they did the very same thing. Yeah. Of passively aggressively like wanting someone to depend on them, wanting someone to need them, wanting someone to rely on them. That is a codependency pattern that stems from conditioning, that stems from those limited belief systems. And it's not a matter of whether it worked or not. It's a test of integrity. It's a test of morality. It was a test for that pod. And I feel like someone in that pod failed that test. And so they're being stripped of a relationship, a connection. They're being stripped of a particular type of, yeah, it feels like relationship. And it doesn't have to be romantic is what they're showing me. But it's like they won't have insight on certain things. They won't be able to resonate with certain things because they've removed themselves from that covering by operating outside of the mission, by operating their behavior patterns wasn't in alignment with the soul pod. So now the soul, everyone in the pod has to leave that person behind. You understand? Because if you allow, if one person stays in the pod and they are tainted or they have their own ulterior motives coming in, it can rage war within the very pod. So it's like someone has been infected with something here. This may have come through like drinking, right? So let's say you know this person is your soul tribe or your soul family, and that person has been indulging in overindulgence in certain areas, and they've been really allowing it to get to their head and make poor choices and things like that. So now you have this assertion here where it's like when you say your boundaries of what you will and will not accept, that person then starts to feel like an ego hit, and when they feel that ego hit, then they do the gaslighting begins, where it's like, okay, you made me feel as if this was a personal attack on my ego, so I feel hurt by a situation, so I'm gonna behave in a particular type of way. So then insecurities come raised to the forefront. And I don't even know if this person is aware of this, but they're about to be made aware, and it comes from wonder. Firefly energy here is in reverse. Okay, so this is like seeing a red flag and realizing that that red flag is familiar. It's a familiar pattern. It's a familiar intention. And no longer feeling safe or no longer feeling like you could be vulnerable with someone or vice versa. That's kind of like how those things would happen. Like, I can't say certain things to this person. I can't open up to this person or that person about certain things because they'll look at me a certain way, or because they revealed to you that they struggle with some type of power struggle, red flag dynamic. Okay. So someone made a choice, and it was an intimidation. Somebody felt intimidated. Yeah, it felt intimidated by someone else's independence. Yeah. So what do they do? Exactly do they do? Okay, so what they did is they became detached. You have detached and idealism. It's like, okay, so yeah, idealism in reverse. This is treating a person differently than you normally treat them as a consequence to their choices. It's not giving tick for tack. It's really strategic. This is really, like I said, this is a manipulation tactic. Because do I feel like this person genuinely wants to detach? No. I feel as if this person wants someone to depend on them, wants someone to need them. I need you to love me. I need you to want me. I need you to need me. And when a person doesn't need them, it makes them feel intimidated, because that's what they're accustomed to using as a resource or as a worth factor. It's like, I am worthy because people need me. You know what I'm saying? I'm worthy because my kids need me. I'm worthy because my family needs me. I'm worthy because the world needs me. It brings out something else. And then so that type of thought process in that same soul pod would be counterproductive to the overall collective that has a particular mission, that has a particular purpose. So I feel like this is interesting. Hold on, Spirit. So let's see, Spirit, what other messages do you have for Taurus? This is about somebody finally seeing something about themselves. Okay. Yeah, with the Strength, the Emperor, and the Two of Cups. Someone hasn't been able to see something about themselves or their behavior patterns. They may view this as confidence, But in some cases, it's Four of Cups in reverse. Yeah, this is not confidence. This is pretending to be confident, pretending to be in charge of a situation. But this stems from fear. Yeah, when someone feels like they have no control in a situation, they respond from that emotion of fear with detachment. And detachment, yes, that's their right, that's their free will to detach and stuff like that. But it comes from a space of it's almost like it's not a tantrum. It's bigger than a tantrum. It's deeper than that. This comes from constantly having your boundaries pushed or stepped on or overlooked by other people. And so the first inclination or the first doubting thought or fleeting thought of someone is trying to push a boundary or get over on you. Then it's like going into that war mode. So y'all ever saw Eternals? And y'all know how in the movie Eternals, it wasn't Angelina Jolie, Athena. She had like that snap reaction where she was recalling negative experiences and she was starting to like beat up on everybody that was in the team. That's what I'm seeing here. Think of yourselves in this pod as like Eternals, right? And this is a situation with all these major arcanas where it's like Athena is like, it's me, look what you're doing. And she don't give a fuck. She's just trying to destroy everything, going to war. And it's like, for what? What triggered this? What caused this? And what I'm seeing here is that what caused this came from feeling like you already know how this is going to end, or feeling as if you already know how someone is going to try you. So out of fear of someone trying you, you poke first, you strike first. You know what I'm saying? It's like, let's go ahead and get it out the way, which is damaging to self-esteem and confidence and trust and all those different things that you cultivate in any type of relationship, soul pod, soul family, intentionally, because you're validating to yourself that this person will eventually do this to you. Trying to validate it for yourself ahead of time. That's the best way I could describe it to you. So now you push someone to a corner and they can either do fight. You're triggering someone's fight or flight mode, which is a survival mode. It's like fight or flight. It's either you submit, domination in reverse, or you fight back. Both options, neither one of them are favorable because both of them require dead ends. You know what I'm saying? Nobody wins when you're fighting against each other. So domination in reverse is saying, I want to be free from this pattern. I want to be independent. But that independence, someone else having that much freedom or that much independence is scary because you can't control other people talking to them. You can't control other people wanting them. You can't control other people desiring them. So you assert yourself like by being possessive or being dominating in another type of way, passive aggressive. That's what assertion is. So I'm going to go ahead and put the fear of God in you of what could potentially happen without me actually having to do it. I'm just going to project those thoughts to you. So this is how you find yourself in that situation where the person has never told you how bad something can get, but you start to just receive the thoughts of, if I do this, it could be bad for me, or if I do this, they can retaliate this way. You start trying. They're pretty much making the decision for you by becoming the bully that bullies them in their mind. Yeah. So in this type of situation and in this type of dynamic, this is how someone is able to maintain some level of control when they feel like someone is their soulmate, someone is their soul tribe, someone is their family. And detachment here, it's it's to try to teach this person that nobody else is going to treat you or appreciate you the way that they would. And so they do this type of casting of thoughts and imagery to make you feel like you would want to wait around for this person to come back around and give you attention, come back around and go back to what they were doing. Because idealism over here, yeah, is showing someone on a horse. So someone making you feel really high, okay, on a fantasy, on a cloud, and then ripping the rug from underneath you by detaching from you. And then leaving you to wonder in your mind what is what's going on. And then this person's objective is to conjure the beast about you. This person wants to see how mad you can get or something like that. For some of you, for others of you, that's what they want to pull out of you so they can practice to tame that. So someone is trying to tame you. But according to the mission of why you guys were even brought together to begin with, it wasn't for the complete submission or control or domination of either of you having over each other. It was about philosophy, collaborating. It was about I said bot. It was about sharing philosophies, collaborating, respecting and accepting each other at your stages of development, at your levels of development, but being able to be in agreement on one thing. And the main thing that everyone was supposed to be in agreement with in this decision is that respecting that free will, respecting the autonomy of free will with each other in a world that has always, from so far, been revolved around controlling free will. So something is not in alignment here. That's what they're saying to me. 9 of Wands in reverse. It was like so close. Something was so close. I'm getting tired. The 9 of Wands in reverse is saying that it's like slipping a roofie or something. Slipping something or taking some type of psychedelic and just kind of like escaping. Because the 9 of Wands in reverse for me is, escaping for a moment in time. And kind of like aborting your purpose of why you're here to begin with. And and kind of subscribing to something that feels a lot easier. It's like you don't have to have that mission. You don't have to have that purpose. You can just choose to let that one go and get a new one. I feel like somebody wanted you to abandon or abort a particular journey. Nine of Wands is pretty much saying the Nine of Wands is on the verge of the Ten of Wands. And the Ten of Wands is a major accomplishment for the Nine of Wands on that journey, because you feel you get to have that experience of power, you know, your own self-confidence, a lot comes from accomplishing something that was a struggle to get to this point. And I feel as if someone wanted you to let that go, and let me give you something better than you needed to do that. Let me give you they could give you anything, really. What are they trying to get? Let me give you a better plan, or let me give you a better mission. Somebody was taking you backwards. Yeah, someone. It's like, okay, let me explain something to you. If you get to know someone, or you're talking to someone, and that person wants to offer you like everything. It's like, I want you to stop working, right? Let's say somebody wants you to stop working and be like a completely relying on them and their work, right? What do you have for yourself? Right? And if this person says to you, well, oh, you don't need to have anything for yourself because you have whatever I have, right? So now what you bring to the connection is based on that person, right? That physical flesh. So, God forbid, right? That person loses their job. God forbid, that person loses their legs. They can't walk anymore. But the entire connection was based off of, I'll work, you just, I don't even see the Ace of Pentacles is pretty much saying here, like, I'll find something for you to do, or you don't have to do anything. You okay? This could just be just emotionally love that person. All right. But the mission that your soul came for, wanted to experience earning something or working towards something that makes you feel like Ace of Pentacles upright, like you was divinely guided, like you felt like you acquired this level of independence and respect and autonomy on your own free will. So if spirit brings you to a certain point on your journey and you have been working really hard towards something, and now out of nowhere you're being asked to give all of that up and let all of that go for a connection, would you ask that of the person that was suggesting that for you? You get what I'm saying? Like, really think about it. Because of their insecurities, because of their concerns around other people at work experiencing your Queen of Cups energy, male or female, doesn't matter. Your affection, your love, your adoration, whatever it is that you do. And so as a trade-off, look here, Eight of Wands in reverse, as a trade-off, I'll be your defender, I'll be your guide, I'll be your everything. So now you are back into a codependent pattern. After spirit took you through all those different experiences on your journey to help you become independent. And then you have people trying to convince you that you can't survive without them, that your life would be better with them. But what about, I think I like this little life. What about your life isn't worth living? You know what I'm saying? Who's determining that? Because to a blind person that can't perceive light, do they really miss being able to see? Or do we feel sorry for the person that can't see? It's more or less on the person that's judging the other person that appears to be less than normal or less than perfect. So what's happening right here is, I'm telling you, it's all of this is being reviewed, it's being looked at. Yeah. So let's see. Let's pull. I feel guided to pull this oracle here. So that's what we're about to do. We have accountability. I'm telling you, strength card again. Accountability. Offering. Take accountability for what's being offered here. Where's my book? All right, what does this say? It says accountability. Every time I come closer to the mic, it starts staticking. So hold on. 36. All right, so we have Hasabi. In the Hasabi card, a graceful woman stands with a lion arching over her head. Above her sits an infinity symbol, while the giant head of a lion takes up the upper portion of the card. It could easily swallow her, but instead is in awe of her gentleness. Hasabi reminds us that having courage doesn't mean you don't feel fear. It means you have confidence in your innate abilities. The lion doesn't second guess its animal instincts, so this card emerges to remind you of your inner strength. Balance must be maintained on both ends between not harming the lion or being swallowed by it. But if someone or something has upset you, take a slow walk through the pride land and hunt down what is inside of you instead of attacking other prey. It takes strength to be compassionate. If Hasabi has graced you with her presence, you are being asked to relax. Stop moving forward with a momentum that continues to bring complaints and instead move forward with one that brings solutions. Only you can give yourself forgiveness when it comes to someone who may have let their animal side out. Ask yourself, can I let my tears be healers of my timeline? Do I feel intimidated around others as if I don't have the same lion spirit? Do I believe I am more than just the label I place on myself? That's deep. Thank you, Spirit. So I'm going to go ahead and leave it right there. Happy Friday, you guys. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye.